Stanford is the birthplace of several top startups and the hub of Silicon Valley's entrepreneurship ecosystem. With a 7% acceptance rate, are you competitive enough to get in? In this video, I'm going to dive deep into Stanford's class profile and requirements, and I'll tell you exactly how to get into Stanford GSB. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Nadine here with Inspira Futures, the admissions consulting firm dedicated to getting you accepted into your dream MBA program. To kick things off, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you're looking for some one-on-one help with your MBA application, visit our site linked below to schedule your free 30-minute consultation. To understand how to get into Stanford GSB, it's important to first understand the level of competition you'll be faced with. Essentially, how hard is it to get in? As I'm sure you're aware, Stanford GSB is one of the most competitive and prestigious business schools in the US. 83% of all students who receive an acceptance letter choose to attend the school. That's pretty significant, and it speaks volumes to its desirability and top-notch reputation. If we look at this year's graduating class, we'll see that the class's average GPA is 3.7, with an average GMAT score of 734. That's even higher than Wharton's, Booth's, or Haas's class average GMAT score. 57% of the class is made up of US students, with the other 43% coming from over 65 countries. In terms of background experiences, 20% of the class come from consulting backgrounds, 19% from investment management, private equity, and venture capital backgrounds, 14% from technology, and then about 10% from government education and nonprofit sectors. Out of the thousands of students that applied, only 6.9% were accepted. So what we need to look at is why nearly 93% of applicants were rejected, and exactly what you need to do to get accepted into Stanford GSB. Let's quickly go through Stanford MBA's program requirements and what you'll have to include in the $275 application. First up is education. You'll need to complete your bachelor's degree and will have to enter in your GPA and course transcripts. Although Stanford doesn't set a minimum GPA for admission, the average accepted GPA is a 3.8. Keep in mind that many students are accepted with GPAs above and below this mark. Next is the professional experience section. This is where you'll enter in your relevant work experience and where you'll attach a one-page business resume. Work experience isn't a requirement for admission into Stanford MBA, which means that all levels of work experience will be considered, and you can apply as a college senior and as a recent graduate. After that, you'll fill out the background, activities and interests, and awards and honors section of the application. This is where you'll include your personal information, such as your citizenship and date of birth. In the activities and interests section, you'll include activities that you were involved in or are currently involved in, such as community experiences or professional experiences. Honors and awards is pretty self-explanatory. You can include up to 5 awards or honors in this section. Next are your letters of reference. You'll need 2 letters, one from your current supervisor and one from another individual who supervised your work. An important note here is that your recommender's involvement with you has to have occurred in the last 3 years, and as usual, they should know you very well in order to craft an excellent letter for your application. Moving on to test scores, you must submit a valid GMAT or GRE score. Stanford states that they have no preference between the 2 exams. Here's what Assistant Dean had to say.
We accept students with a wide range of test scores, and it is just one data point, and I truly mean that. So we look at the tests, and they are important to ensure that you're going to be able to thrive quantitatively and verbally in the program.
Stanford has 2 personal essays that you'll have to complete. First is what matters to you most and why, and the second is why Stanford. Stanford recommends that you stick to up to 650 words for the first essay and up to 400 words for the second essay. Combined, your essays can't exceed 1,050 words. Lastly is the optional short questions. A word of wisdom here, these optional questions aren't truly optional, and if you have something valuable to add, then you should. The first question is, think about times you've created a positive impact, whether in professional, extracurricular, academic, or other settings. What was your impact? What made it significant to you or to others? For each example, you'll have approximately 200 words for your response. Question 2. Tell us about a time within the last 3 years when your background influenced your participation at work or school. You have slightly less space for this answer, approximately 180 words. Now you know what you need to apply, but how exactly can you get into Stanford GSB? Everyone who is applying will need to meet these requirements, but regardless of what you think, there is a way to differentiate yourself so you can be viewed as a top applicant. Let's start with what Stanford is looking for, and then I'll tell you what you need to do to meet those requirements. There are 3 main evaluation components that Stanford assesses when composing their entering class. Number 1, intellectual vitality. Stanford doesn't simply look at your grades and test scores. They are interested in reviewing applicants holistically, and in particular, they want to assess your ability and desire to learn, solve problems, and grow as an individual. To prove you possess these qualities, you'll need to discuss your past experiences. Specifically, you'll need to think about when you encountered a challenging situation where you were forced to expand your knowledge and solve problems. Then you'll have to communicate why this was significant to you and how you can bring what you gained to benefit your fellow classmates. If you can do this, you'll be able to tick this requirement box. Are you looking to become part of an alumni body that includes people like Mary Barra, Vinod Khosla, and Phil Knight? If so, you will need to have demonstrated leadership potential, which is the second evaluation component. Stanford believes that the behaviors you've exhibited in the past are an indication of how you'll behave in the future. So, if you've taken initiative and positioned yourself as a leader in the past, there's a good chance that you'll also take on a leadership role in the future. But what exactly are these leadership behaviors? Well, Stanford identifies them as strategic thinking, initiative, persistence, results orientation, engaging others, and developing others. If you can demonstrate in your application using specific examples that you possess these skills, that's another tick on their requirements checklist. The final evaluation criteria that Stanford uses to assess applicants is personal qualities and contributions. Who are you? What drives you? Where do your passions lie? And what can you bring to the table? These are the questions that Stanford GSB Admissions Committee wants answering. It's important to convey your true self in your application and to demonstrate how your background and experiences allow you to bring a unique perspective to the entering class. As with many top business schools, Stanford aims to create a well-rounded and diverse business school class. The more diverse the class, the richer the conversations, the deeper the insights, and the stronger the collaborations. GSB has one of the smallest MBA class sizes of any other top business school, so you'll be expected to actively participate in lively discussions. So, to stand out in this assessment, you'll need to identify which unique insights and perspectives you possess, and then you'll have to show how they can be leveraged to benefit the overall class. With that, you'll receive the final tick in their checklist. Alright, so now you know exactly how to get into Stanford GSB. Hopefully you found this video helpful, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment with any questions that you might have. If you want to know how you can individualize yourself from the thousands of other applicants, jump onto our website, linked in the description, so you can schedule your free 30-minute consultation. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.